Hey folks, Jordan your Little Survival. So I want to talk to you today about how to stay cool in the summer, especially doing your outdoor activities. Yeah, let's get to it. All right, folks. So speaking of how to keep cool during our outdoor activities, we're gonna mostly talk about, say, a hike in this scenario, right? Because I like hiking in the summer, fishing, camping, whatever, right? But hiking is kind of my number one go-to activity in the summer because it's really nice out. You know, it's nice, breezy, blue sky, sun, and then it's gonna be 9 months of wintry hell up here. But whatever. The thing is, this though, I love it. So, environmental factors that's going to affect how we keep ourselves cool on a hot summer day where, say, it's hot, humid, and there's really no breeze to speak of. What am I going to do personally? Okay. First things first, I'm going to check the weather. I want to know what is it doing the day before, the day of, and the day after. Why does the day before matter? Well, say it rained the day before, whatever temperature it's going to be, right? It just rained the day before. I know more than likely if it's a hot day, no real clouds to speak of, and the sun's peeking through, it's going to be humid. Now, high humidity levels, guys, that actually reduces your body's ability, sweat factor here, to actually cool you off effectively because the air content is already filled with moisture. So, again, the sweat's just going to sit there, but it's not really keeping you cool, if that makes sense. Now, along with that, the day of obviously makes sense because you want to know what's doing that day. Is it going to rain at some point in time? Is it not? Is it going to be cloudy so you have some shade or not? Is it what's it doing, right? Obviously so. The day after, guys, just in case A, you choose to stay out there for whatever reason, just because you want to, and set up a little camp and just enjoy it overnight, right? Or B, say an emergency situation happens, whatever it is, you got lost. Let's say that, just the easiest one. You got lost off the trail. You thought you knew it. Oh, crap. Well, I'm out here for at least overnight. As long as you bring the actual proper equipment in the first place, not that much of a big deal. And again, bare minimum carry the 5 C's survivability, coined by Dave Canterbury, guys. So that is cutting tool, combustion, cordage, container, and some kind of cover, right? And again, cover is something under, in, and on, okay? Just remember that. So there's that environmental factor so far, weather-wise. Now, we're also going to talk about route planning. Route planning is very crucial because, say, it is going to be a really miserable day, hot, humid, no breeze. I'm probably not going to go with Route A, which is going to take me through like miles of freaking open field, meadows. And it might look pretty, but it's going to be really miserable getting beaten down with UV rays from the sun, being hot and miserable, humid, blah. Just don't like it. No. I'm going to choose Route B, if possible, and go through some shaded areas, if not all shaded, say through a forest environment like this, or say patches of forest, or whatever it's going to be, right? I'm going to choose a more shady area. That's why. Now, why shade? Because in general, shade is roughly 10 to 15 degrees cooler in aspect to being in the sun. So there's that. Now, along with the route planning, I want to actually sit there and go, okay, so this might be a little more difficult, but it has more water sources, bodies of water, ponds, rivers, lakes, whatever, right? I can sit there and stop and replenish my water. And again, 5C, so survivability here, guys. So you can actually sit there, take that, your water container is your stainless steel single walled, right? Boil your water, because I'm not really concerned about CBRN, and I'm not really relying on the chemical means because I don't really trust the chemical means and CBRN. If that's the situation, it's just van time, but we're talking about hiking here, okay? Boiling water, 5,000 feet and below, okay, 1 minute is going to be sufficient, or at least until you see a rolling boil, right, is going to be sufficient in killing all natural waterborne pathogens that can hurt you, okay? There's that. 5,000 feet and above, or excuse me, 5,001 feet above, you're going to add a minute onto that every 1,000 feet of elevation. So there's that. Now, route planning, bodies of water, want to know the weather, guys. That's kind of the whole environmental factors in a nutshell of what's going to concern us going on a hike in a hot, humid environment with no breeze in the summertime, okay? That's what I'm going to do the first thing to keep myself safe in that situation. So now we're going to talk about clothing. All right, folks, now we're going to talk about clothing. Now, when I think about clothing, when I'm going to wear it in a hot, humid environment with or without a breeze, whichever is going to be, hopefully with a breeze, I want to think loose fitting. I want to think about lightweight, and I want to think about breathable. And yes, the fabric your material is made out of, right? Okay, that's going to take an account of how it's going to be. But in hindsight, reality-wise, if you just do a little bit of research online, guys, you'll understand that natural fibers, natural materials such as cotton, bamboo, silk, freaking linen, stuff like that, guys, as examples, those are going to breathe a lot better for you. And again, if you wear them in light, loose layers, okay, they're thin material in loose layers, it's going to keep you a lot cooler than, say, some polyester crap shirt that's moisture wicking. No, polyester is basically plastic that you're putting against your skin, and it's going to keep you warm, and it's going to suck, especially in a hot, humid, no breeze day. Don't wear that stuff. Just my humble opinion, but hey, whatever. I'm just one person. Now, let's get in a little more into the weeds of this thing here. Okay, so loose fitting. I want loose fitting. Maybe, hopefully, I can show you guys in the camera. Loose fitting. Okay? My pants here are loose fitting. They're not tight. They're not skinny jeans. They're just loose fitting. My overshirt here, guys, is loose fitting. Okay? My t-shirt is loose fitting. Why? Because it allows airflow to go around your body even while you walk. Because you got to think it's kind of like a bellow in a way, right? So as you move, your clothes kind of expand to capture air and they kind of push it. Like you're moving your arms, your legs, whatever, right? That's why loose fitting works, because there's airflow all around you. That's how it works with your clothes. Not rocket science. Now, lightweight, I'm going to try to take advantage of the sun here. Hope you guys can see this. Okay. You guys can see the sunlight through my shirt, my overshirt here. I can feel my hot breath through my shirt. Meaning this, even though it's an overshirt and it's roughly about 70, 72 right now, and there's a light breeze, I can feel that light breeze through my overshirt, hitting my t-shirt, right? So it's really nice to have something like this, and I like dressing in layers anyways, because you never really know, okay, am I getting stuck outside overnight or not? Who knows, right? But in essence, excuse me, what this allows you to do is have airflow, again, because it's oversized, but lightweight material. Plus, the biggest thing to me, though, is not only does it trap cooler air against your body and give you an extra kind of flappy effect, in my personal humble opinion, but what this does, though, is say weather moves in, right? It starts raining. I can take this overshirt off, put it in my dry bag inside my backpack, or just carry the dry bag in my hand, whatever. Let the rain soak my cotton t-shirt. Again, 100% cotton, 100% cotton. I know people are like, oh, if you walk in the woods wearing cotton, you're just going to, fall over dead for whatever reason. No, it's fine. Cotton only kills you if you're in a cold environment, you get wet, and you can't dry off and keep warm. So you can't build a fire, essentially, and you can't swap this out. Well, guess what? Put this away, extra shirt, okay? It starts to cool off. I can take my t-shirt off, put my dry shirt on. There you go. That's kind of why I also wear this layer as well. Now, the cotton t-shirt, guys, again, it's large. Large is a little loose on me. It's not as tight as medium or whatever like that. That's why I like to wear large shirts, because they're just more comfortable. It's more airy, more breathable, right? Which we're going to talk about next, the breathability. But what this allows me to do with a cotton t-shirt, right, is sit there and either via sweat from my body, and it soaks the shirt, and yes, it will eventually evaporate and will dry off, but not as quickly as, say, moisture-wicking material. But what this allows me to do, though, is take advantage of the cooling effect of my sweat, or say I walk up to body water, as long as it's safe to do such a thing, right? You're not going to fall in. There's not like an alligator going to grab you and drag you in or whatever, right? Just be smart, be safe about it. You can take either a bottle of water or your hand and just get your shirts wet. What that's going to do is have that material against your skin, right? Inside your skin, believe it or not, I know nobody knows this, it's such a secret. There's little tiny blood vessels all over through your skin. It's carrying blood, right? Blood is warm if you're alive, right? So as the blood vessels are near the skin, they get cooled off by that cold cotton touching them. Now, if there is some kind of convective breeze, okay, we have convection coming through our breathable materials, cotton, okay, that's lightweight and loose, so air can flow through, and therefore it's going to help keep you cool. Hope that all kind of makes sense there, guys. I know it's kind of rambling quickly, but basically, like I just said, you want loose fitting, lightweight, okay, thin, but not too thin, so it's going to break on you, and some kind of breathable material so you can sit there and help keep you cool. So there's kind of that whole aspect there of loose fitting, lightweight, and breathability. So anyways, guys, we're going to move on to the next subject here. Oh, actually, I lied. Sorry. Almost did that again. So along with that, guys, we want to think about, too, our feet, right? So I do have on, and I probably can't really lift my foot up next to my face, but I do have these like Hanes Cool Dry Tech socks. I've been using them for a little while, and they're a polycotton mix, obviously so. And I've done a 3-mile hike in these, and I've never had blisters, but I put body powder on my foot and then also in the sock as well. So there's that. However, they haven't given me blisters. These socks, though, with my shoes off, are very breathable, very cool, very breathable. That's why I like them. So if you're taking a break, take off your hiking boots or shoes, whatever you want to do there. And speaking of hiking boots and shoes, footwear. Okay, you want your footwear to be lightweight. You don't need 9-pound boots to do this, especially if it's like long, flat trails, guys. I personally found over time my leather cat boots I used to wear kind of really suck for those environments. I mean, going up and down hills and through logs and water and whatever, yeah, those rock. But on flat trails and whatnot, these are way better. And I don't know the actual brand name of this stuff because it kind of wore off the bottom. So there's that. But these shoes, though, are breathable. I can actually sit there and, again, somewhat feel the hot breath of my air through there. But I do know for a fact these actually dry off real quickly, and as marketed, they actually are very breathable. Plus, I also know because I stepped in a puddle, and sadly, I became one with the puddle. My foot was soaked, but that's okay. I actually, changed my socks out, let my shoes dry, and kind of sat down for a little bit and faced my shoes towards a very strong breeze, and it dried within, like, I want to say about 20 minutes to half hour. My shoe was completely dry. So there's that. So footwear is important, guys. Keep an eye on that as well, besides the clothes you're wearing on your body. So there's that. Headgear, guys, we're going to cover later on in this video as well, so stick around for that too. Now we're all right, guys, so now in the video we're going to talk about kit. Okay, so kit essentially is just the equipment you're going to bring with you on the hike. Now, I would honestly recommend that you guys carry at least minimum the 5 C's, right? So again, coined by Dave Canterbury, 5 C's of survivability. That is like the most basic survival kit items you can bring with you, right? So a cutting device, cordage, cover, container, and combustion, right? That's the 5 C's in no particular order. But my thing is this, though, at least carry that stuff with you. That way we can talk about this subject here, which is bring enough water with you when you begin your hike, right? So, and speaking of that, in the beginning, just hydrate for like a day or two prior to your hike, depending how long it is and how intense it's going to be. But hydrate before you even go out there in the first place, and you'll be leaps and bounds beyond more likely the average person who's going to be dehydrated in the first place. So, anyways, hydrate before you go on a hike. Carry the 5 C's with you, and bring enough water. Now, how do you know how much water you're to need with you, especially if you're inexperienced or new to this whole thing? A good rule of thumb, okay, and I say this with a grain of salt, but a good rule of thumb is going to recommend in moderate temperatures, so 65 to 75 degrees is going to be considered moderate for most people. Like, okay, this is comfortable. I feel fine. Not too hot, but I'm not too cold. All right. If you are going on a hike in moderate temperatures, more than likely you're going to consume 1.5 liters of water per hour of hiking. So, okay, sounds a little crazy, but if you keep the pace of 1 mile per 15 minutes, in 1 hour you're walking 4 miles. Okay, pretty good hike, whatever. Say that you go on your average, what's considered good distance traveled in a survival situation, which is going to be roughly 8 to 10 miles, but we're going to say 10 miles in this case. That's going to be what? So 10 miles, it's going to be 4 per hour, so 4, 8, so that about 2.5. So, okay, so every hour, looking at 1.5 liters, so right there's 3. So say 0.5 liter to that, about 3.5 liters of water, somewhere around there you're going to consume. So it's a good way to sit there and go, okay, so that's how much water I'm probably going to consume. So if I already carry with me 3 liters of water, and if I plan my route correctly, like we talked about, and we have water sources along the way I can actually replenish my water with, and then disinfect it because we're carrying the 5 C's survivability, you're sitting pretty damn good. So there's that. Now, along with that, we're going to talk about extra cotton. Okay, so triangle bandage. I wear them on my head. Why? Because they look like a woods pirate. I don't know, whatever. My thing is I just wear this because, again, mosquitoes and flies always try to get my back of my neck and whatnot. That's why I actually started wearing it, but whatever. Plus, it's just handy to have a little medical device with you in case you have a sprain or whatever, hurt your arm or leg or whatever. You already have a triangle bandage with you. Awesome, good to go. But extra cotton, guys, it can be washcloths, it can be bandanas, it can be triangle bandages, big square sheet, like 36 by 36 inch sheet of cotton with you, whatever, guys. It doesn't matter. If you bring those, right, you can actually affect cooling your body down while on the move or staying in one spot to rest up or whatever you're going to do, right? So I can take this and say I walk up to a lake or a body of water, as long as it's safe, okay? You're not going to fall in. There's no critters in there that's going to bite your hand off or drag you in the water and eat you or whatever. Be safe, be smart, okay? Take this. I can soak it in the water, okay? Wring it out if you want to, or just plop it in my head that's soaking wet. It's going to start cooling me off. Why? Because there's a lot of blood vessels, especially if your hair is short, a lot of blood vessels that's going to be touched by that cold rag on top of your head, helping you keep cool, like we talked about with the t-shirt. Now, on top of that, I could take another rag if I want to, or the same rag, or whatever combination you want to do, and I wrap it around my neck, right? Cold water, wrap around neck. That way, the carotid and the jugular, which are two big veins and arteries running through your neck right here, right? They'll actually start cooling down the blood a little faster, I should say, right? It's going to help keep you cool. So there's that too. Now, in emergency situations, say that, oh man, like my friend Doug here is just like beat red. He's not really sweating anymore. It's not good. I got to really get him cool. Okay. You can do the old trickaroo of head, neck, armpits, and in the groin. Okay. Emergency situation, guys. Don't be shy. Whatever. You got to help save Doug. So you got to sit there and put some cold rags here and down in the groin area. Why? Because, again, your femoral artery, large arteries here. I can't remember. I think it's the brachial artery, if I remember correctly, is running around here. Large blood vessels. Okay. You can sit there and affect cooling in all these situations. Along with that, I dare say, hey, if you got some more cotton rags, right, take off their footwear, take off their socks, wrap that in cold rags as well, their feet. Because again, a lot of blood vessels around your feet and in your hands. If you get these cold, guys, it's going to help cool the rest of your body as well. So there's kind of that tip and trick with cotton rags. So there's that. And I dare say, I'll kind of skip to the little extra portion here. I'll just throw it here, guys, in the video. If it's worst case scenario, whether you have extra clothes or not, and you're just like, I am dying of heat, I'm not really starting to sweat, I feel kind of dizzy and whatnot, and be careful doing this, especially if you're by yourself. If there's a shallow end, a body of water that you can get into, or whatever you're comfortable getting into, and it's safe, like I said, okay, nothing's going to get you in the water, or you're not going to drown, or whatever, and you can get out easily, right? Be smart, be safe. Dip your whole body in. Okay, just sit there in the water. Why? Because water will actually dissipate heat 25 times faster than open air. So it's going to cool you down. Okay, there's that. Extra rags and a little extra portion for you there. Now, this thing too. If, say, you're in an environment where there's not really a lot of shade, or your route's going to take you someplace where there is like maybe a scrub brush here and there, and that's it, right? You can actually affect your own shade by carrying a Mylar tarp with you, okay? So like the Arcturus, actually I don't have a backpack with me. All right, sorry about that, guys. Just kind of got cotton mouth, couldn't talk there. So the last piece of kit that I would recommend carrying with you is some kind of tarp, right? Preferably a Mylar-backed tarp. It doesn't have to be Arcturus. It can be any kind of brand, whatever you feel like having or whatever. That way, one, you can affect your own shelter, okay? Say that your route, you can't really avoid the sun. It's going to be long stretches with it, and it's just going to be really miserable. Okay, you know what? Know your limit. Know yourself. Like, man, I'm starting to get really kind of fatigued, really thirsty. I'm sucking through my water. I got to rest for a bit. Okay, cut down some saplings perhaps, or maybe have some tent poles or, hiking sticks, whatever you guys want to call them. Okay, set up a small shelter. Fly your tarp, so if there is a breeze, it can still reach you. And if it is a Mylar back tarp, flip it upside down so the shiny side up, facing towards the sun. Because what's going to help do is that sun, the UV rays are going to hit that Mylar and it's going to reflect off of it. Now you also have the shade already from the tarp itself, so it's going to help keep you a little cooler as well. Again, 10 to 15 degrees cooler in the shade in general in most cases. That's why you want to bring a tarp with you. So again, kit-wise, bring enough water, ability to disinfect the water, the 5 C's survivability, and understand how much water you're going to need on your trip, okay? Again, online sources, some say a little bit different stuff, but do your due diligence, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. Again, extra cotton rags like we talked about, plus the extra tip there, and along with that, the Mylar back tarp. So there's that. Now moving on to the little extra portion here, guys, of the video. All right, folks, so here we are at the end of the video, and I kind of already shared the big one of being overheated. You kind of dunk yourself in water as long as it's safe to do such a thing, and you're comfortable doing it, go for it. That's the first extra tip, but I already shared that, so whatever. Tip number 2 here, sip water continuously. I know I already said that in this video, guys, but I want to reiterate it because it's very important. Hydrate yourself beforehand. Okay, keep yourself hydrated by just, hey, I'm thirsty, drink some water. Drink water throughout the day, guys. Water is good for you. I know most people are like, I don't like it. Okay, whatever. The other thing here, guys, is also if you're hiking, you're sweating a lot, you're also going to be losing electrolytes. Okay, so either bring stuff such as table salt and sugar with you to make a homemade oral rehydration solution. Again, that's half teaspoon of salt and 6 level teaspoons of sugar. Okay, mix it in a liter of water until it's dissolved, and there you go. You have a homemade oil rehydration solution on the fly. If you're like me though, and you're like, you know, I'm just gonna buy some like Gatorade powder or something like that, or those Mayo sports drinks or whatever, and just kind of have that electrolyte solution in there and just put in my water and drink that. Okay, cool, go for it. I don't really often do that, but along hikes, hot days, I do that. So that's tip number 2. Now, number 3 is body powder, right? Okay, so body powder, and this is just in general with hiking, right? If you're sweaty, heavier individual, whatever, or just an individual period, right? You can experience chafing. And it's a little embarrassing to talk about. Hey, whatever. You know, we all experience runners chafe, whatever. You guys don't know what that is, look it up. It's terrible. It sucks. But you can actually help mitigate that by 1, keeping clean, okay? Changing your undergarments. So don't be stupid. Change your undergarments. Don't be gross. And 3, using body powder, right? Put body powder in the nether regions, on your feet, right? Possibly in your armpits, whatever. It can help with the moisture factor. It can help with the chafing factor. Just throwing out there, guys, you'll have a way better experience if you use body powder if you feel like you need to. But hey, teach their own. And the last one, guys, know your limits. Okay, don't try to be macho and go, you know what? I'm just bringing this 20-ounce bottle of water in the Death Valley, and I'm going to go for a 10-mile hike. You're going to be dead. You're going to be dead. That's just how it is. Don't be stupid. Know your limits, guys. If you're like halfway through your hike and you're like, man, I'm really hot, I can't keep cool, there's really no good sources of water near me to replenish what I have or whatever's going to be, again, piss poor planning there, but hey, whatever, it happens. Just don't be macho and try to push through. Just turn around. Just go home. It's not worth your life. It's not worth you having to call 911 or whatever emergency services you guys have in order to finish your hike. It's just know your limits, guys. It's that simple. So anyways, as always, guys, stay frosty, prep up. Yeah, bless.